Hey besties, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. So this morning as I was doing my Bible study and I got some of my notes over here, I was reading from Luke 10, 18 and 19, right? So this is the thing that I got. A lot of times when we feel like our businesses are not thriving, let me say this. We're in the middle of a wealth transfer. Like this is biblical teaching. We're in the middle of a wealth transfer. If you have been in business for like just to make money, just to have like the stuff, like the materialistic stuff, if you are not putting your all into like getting your customers their result, like say for instance you do credit repair, and it may come easy to you, but instead of you like really taking the time to like look into their stuff, act how you was acting when you first started and you had that same hype and motivation, it's now become easy, so you don't give it your all, right? And God is literally saying like, right your wrongs. So I believe his name was Zacchaeus, and he was a tax collector, right? And he built his empire he was adding a little more on top and he was keeping it and building his empire. But Jesus came and he told him he was gonna pretty much eat at his house. And this man literally, like, we don't know, it don't say what conversation they had or anything, but this man literally went and pretty much gave half of his possessions, half of his empire back to the people that he had wronged. And he promised to even give more back. I think it was like four times more than, for the people he had wronged. Now, within that also, there's also a story of a man that was about to be king. He gave his servants some silver. One servant went and invested it. He came back and he had like 10x his investment. The second one had 5x his investment. The third one went and buried it. So this is the thing. The Bible literally tells us how to invest, how to run our businesses. Why are you not a good steward? The Bible also says that the borrower is a slave to the lender. It's a reason why the math ain't mathing. You having 20, 50, 75K months, and at the end of the year, you like, where did it all go? You're not making good investments. You're still a slave to the lender because you chose not to make good investments. But we live in God's grace, so you need to start calling forth that thing and start talking to your debt situation and work the word. But you also need to go in and create a new biblical spending strategy, a new financial strategy on how you are going to not be in this situation again. Now, it also talks about being a good neighbor. There's a story of a man who pretty much got beat up, he got robbed, and people were literally crossing the street. But there was a man who came and he helped him. He cleaned his wounds. He pretty much got him like a hotel room to stay in while he healed. You are supposed to be a good neighbor. Treat people how you want to be treated. If something happened to you, would you want somebody to be too busy to stop for you? If something happened to one of your kids, how would you want people to react? So I'm encouraging y'all today because we're in the middle of a wealth transfer. And what that looks like biblical wise is all of the people who stored up their wealth from evil doings, because if you get it outside of the will of God, you got to stay outside of the will of God to keep it. The people who've been building kingdom business, the people who've been staying in their word, the people who've been renewing their mind by reading the word, the people who have been actively seeking God and looking for a breakthrough, your wealth about to be theirs. This is biblical. This is biblical. So I say this to say, be a good neighbor, be a good steward, and invest. Right all of your wrongs. Stop doing stuff for selfish gain, because we want to be in the will of God when we're getting blessed. Okay? Now, this is the other thing. A lot of times the things that we're doing don't work because it's not God's will or his timing. You got excited and started a whole new business model that don't have nothing to do with what God told you to do. You didn't even seek him. You didn't pray about it. You didn't fast about it. And you like, Lord, it's not working and I really want to do this. He telling you, ain't nobody told you to do this. You leaned on your own understanding and did this. You need to go back and lay it down and surrender it. And you need to see what God said. So y'all be blessed and have a good day.